Welcome to Mom program, a show about women, family, health, faith, and basically whatever we find interesting while we share the challenging but at the end the most rewarding experiences of being a mom. Married with kids. Parenthood is a true test of marriage. For around 30 years, researchers have studied how having children affects a marriage, and the results are conclusive. The relationship between spouses suffers once kids come along. Comparing couples with and without children, researchers found that the rate of the decline in relationship satisfaction is nearly twice as steep for couples who have children than for those who are without children. In the event that a pregnancy is unplanned, the parents experience with greater negative impacts on their relationship. It is sad. But today, I have my friends here who will be sharing their experiences in how their marriages were affected after having children. So welcome back, Rita and Hazel. Today we're going to be focusing on our marriages after having kids. Now I would like to first of all ask both of you, how was it with your marriage after you have children? Did it change? Did it have any significant adjustment or impact before and after having children?
Yeah, for me, it was a big adjustment. I think it was like 360 degrees turn around, you know.
A complete turn.
Yes, a complete turn, because before the children came, it was just the two of us. We could just decide, oh, we would like to go camping this weekend. Let's go camping. Okay. Now, when the children came along, everything has to be planned. You have to consider a lot of aspects before you go anywhere. And also the demands on us were a lot more. Before it was just about our relationship and the workplace, but now we have to think about our children. And it was, the earlier years were quite stressful because we were adjusting. And there were a lot of stress in our relationship. Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about that.
Okay.
Yeah, but let's go to Hazel first. What are the differences or what did you experience that is different between, you know, your marriage before and after having kids?
Yeah, definitely it was different. At the beginning, I was the center of attention. I'm no longer the center of attention. And I think it's like that for...
Now I assume that it's from your spouse, right?
Yes, yes, of course. And so, you know, we had to plan, be careful in planning where to go. We had to think about whether the places that we were going to go, whether it's a child-friendly place, you know, and there were times we just had to say, no, we can't go to a dinner party because it was too late at night, you know, or no, we can't attend a birthday party because it's in the afternoon, it's nap time, you know, so things like that. But when it came to our relationship, I may no longer be the center of attention, but instead both of us had to be more intentional in keeping our relationship. So one of the things that we did, we made sure to spend what I call, or we read before, excuse me, it's called couch time. So we read before that couples should always try to spend some time on the couch just talking to each other, and this helped a lot because it helped us to become more intentional in our relationship instead of, you know, focusing only on our child.
Now, when you mention that you have to be intentional, that means that both of you realized that your marriage was affected.
Right.
That it was going through some problems or challenges in your relationship, right? That's why both of you have decided that you need to be intentional in focusing more on each other.
That's true.
Now that's very good. But there are many times when couples do not realize that.
Yes.
They focus their mind, their energy, their whole attention towards their children without realizing that the relationship between each other
It's also important.
it's also very important, and in fact it must be a priority.
Right.
Now, Rita, you mentioned that you were going through some stressful relationship.
Yes.
How did you deal with that? And did it get better?
Just like what Hazel mentioned a while ago, you know, I found myself struggling with the fact that I'm not that important anymore in the family. The children are more important, their needs is more important. And, you know, I started praying about it, and I said I wanted my husband to change. He should do this, he should do this. That will make me feel more loved in a way. And I never told him, I just prayed to God. And you know, when the answer came, I said, you should be the one to change, not him. Said I need to change my expectation. I need to realize that things are not the same way. And one of the things that I have learned as well is that don't wait for him to make you happy. Make yourself happy. Plant the flowers. Don't wait for him to give you flowers. You know. And I started, okay, why wait for him to make me happy? I need to find activities that help me feel good about myself. And at that time I started subscribing Reader's Digest. I said when he went to play football, and I could read because I really enjoyed reading. And so I think in this case God helped me understand, like focus, refocus your thought. No, don't just think about yourself. Think about your children and about your family as well. Yeah,
it's true.
So I think for me, for my case, I would like to share, I think my husband is affected. I was the one who focused a lot of my attention on my child and not on him.
Okay.
And but thankfully he never demanded. However, we gently talked, and he shared his feelings and desires that, we should put each other first, and that I shouldn't neglect his needs because I was so absorbed with providing for the needs of my daughter that I failed to provide his needs as well, thinking that he's an adult.
Right.
He can take care of himself, and that our relationship is strong enough that I can just focus on my daughter and not on him. But when I realized that it was affecting, that we were not as close as before, then, our communication, our bonding is affected. So we also have to be intentional.
Right.
Especially for me. I worked on it. I prayed to God that, I would not only prioritize my daughter's needs, but also my husband, because marriage is important, and both of us have to be together.
Yes.
Especially in caring for our children. And when the marriage relationship is strong, then the foundation is strong, and then the love and care that we can give to our children can be healthy.
Yes.
Right, and that we are one. Yes, so I would like to ask both of you, what are some of the creative ways that you and your spouse did together you know, to make sure that the love and that your relationship, the love with each other and your relationship is constantly sparkled and, you know, with fire and filled with love at all times.
If I can jump in.
Yeah, sure.
Creative, you mentioned. I don't know about you ladies, but my husband does not cook. So teaching him to cook, and he enjoyed it. So when our son actually saw, hey, daddy is also, you know, participating and helping out in the family, and you know, that's extra stars for daddy, right? And at the same time, we had fun, you know, just communicating in a different way and yet in an intimate way. And it wasn't just for ourselves, you know, it was something that our son could see. And you know, children learn from example, and when they see that happiness, their thoughts are directed into you know, somewhere else, into a happy family, or you know, so
to see happy parents.
Yes. So for me, something creative would be like teaching my husband how to cook, or in that situation that we had, it was just a simple meal, but you know, having the time together, explaining, and you know, having the intimate moment, that was something.
Yeah,
like that.
thank you. I believe that it is very important for marriage couple to have that special time together. Especially, it would be a healthy role model for our children, because that would satisfy and fulfill their needs to see that, oh, their mom and dad are in love and their relationship is strong and healthy. Yes. Thank you very much for your experiences and for sharing. It is very important to put our focus and priority in assuring that our spouse's needs and love is fulfilled and met. We're so accustomed to make our children the center of our world that we tend to forget that our marriage needs just as much nurturing as our children. Today, in Women's Hacks, we will learn to revive the flame of love by making romantic gifts to surprise our spouses.
Marriage. Due to jobs, kids, TV, the internet, hobbies, home and family responsibilities, the average married couple spends just 4 minutes a day alone together. Words form only 7% of our communication with anyone, including spouses. Tone of voice accounts for 38%, and body language is responsible for 55% of the messages spouses receive from each other. A marriage ceremony typically ends with a kiss because in ancient Rome, a kiss was a legal bond that sealed contracts, and marriages were seen as a contract. A 2008 study found that marital satisfaction improves once children leave home. However, if marital problems existed before, an empty nest often reveals those otherwise masked issues. Nearly 90% of couples experience decrease in marital satisfaction after the birth of their first child. Compared to singles, married people accumulate about 4 times more savings and assets. Those who divorced had assets 77% lower than singles.
The 5 languages of love. Now, we all love our husbands. So why does sometimes we feel like we're not on the same page? The most common issue in any relationship is the communication, the barrier. That's because everyone experiences love differently. And it's easy to miss the mark when it comes to showing that you care and that you love your spouse. There's a book that explains this widely, the 5 languages of love. And today we'll be discussing about these 5 languages that help people to identify the root of their conflicts and give and receive love in a more meaningful way. What are these 5 languages of love? And what are they about? Now I have here Rita and Hazel who join me in Mom to Mom program, and they will be sharing some of the love language that they share with their spouse. So Rita and Hazel, how do you show the love languages in your home with your spouse?
Okay, I realize that when my husband is happy, he makes a better father and he makes a better husband.
Sure.
And I realize that I can communicate my love to him by encouraging him in the things that he does and to give him space to do things he enjoys. For instance, playing soccer, playing football. I used to be unhappy about his playing because I said, oh, he's not helping. He should help me at home, not playing as much. But then I discovered that, you know, the playing really gives him a chance to be with his friends and to exercise, and he would come home as a happy person. And then I realized that it's good for him. And so now I don't stop him from going cycling and going to play football anymore, because he would come back as a better person. And I also allow him time to be with his friends. You know, marriage does not mean that he should have no other friends besides the wife. So he has time to spend with them, and he also gives me time to spend with my friends. So we really appreciate that connection with other men, for him with his friends, and for me with my friends. So
basically giving the respect of personal space and time for each other to spend with each other's friends.
Yeah, to support each other.
But it is also important that the time that we spend with our friends should not be as important than spending time with our own spouse, right? So we need to be able to balance and set the priority right. That, you know, okay, it's important to have time with friends, but family and spouse should come first. Very good point.
Yeah, but I think earlier I think there was very little time for others. We was just children and the family, you know.
And slowly you know how to share.
To share
time. What about you, Hazel? What are some of the love languages that you share with your husband?
I think doing the little things that make him happy. And likewise, him doing the little things that will make me happy. So,
could you give some example
of
the little things?
Just cooking something that he likes to eat. Or if I'm too tired to cook, I can go and buy something he likes to eat. Making him a smoothie, his favorite smoothie. You know, these small little things to show him that I appreciate him, that I know he is tired from work, and to make him know that I acknowledge him and I love him. So I'll just, you know, do something small. It doesn't have to be something big or extravagant. Just something small and simple. Or even just pairing his socks. You know, the small little things that make.
I hear the word appreciation. You know, I believe that we women love to be appreciated. But at the same time, our spouse long for us to appreciate them as well. In what they do for us and in what they do for our children, right? So what are some of the other areas that you enjoy your spouse showing the love language to you as a wife? You know, what are some of the things that, you know, you find fulfillment or you feel special when your love shows it to you, when your husband shows it to you?
You know, I really appreciate it when I make a mistakes, that he doesn't scold me for it. Like if I forget something, he would help me to find without, why did you forget again, you know? But he said, when was the last time you remember having that thing? Okay, and then like, was it this way, was it this way? So I really appreciate that, you know, like rather than scolding me, he would help me, even though that was my mistake. And I also appreciate that he has learned to listen to me without giving any suggestions or recommendations. Like, just, you know, like, okay, I'm listening to you. I mean, in the past he used to, oh, maybe you should do this, you should do that. And I said, I just need you to listen right now, could you? And then he has learned. Okay, so
just be a listening ear.
Yes.
I think most of us women need that moment where our spouse just sit down and just listen to us share, lay all our burden or emotions or feelings out. It is very important. What about you, Hazel? What are some of the things that you appreciate that your husband show, you know, the ways of love language to you?
You know, I really love it when he shows that he's taking initiative to do things that he does not know. I said before, he doesn't cook. So I love it when he takes initiative to make something, to try and cook something. When he takes initiative to do the laundry, you know, to share the house chores. Without being told, you know, and you know, the society that we live in, the women are expected, you know, to do all the house chores. That's true, and so I feel loved when he does it without even me suggesting it.
Thank you, Hazel. I believe that we women love to be loved and we love to be appreciated. Just like the book of Gary Chapman, The 5 Love Languages, he emphasized the 5 ways that, you know, people tend to express love, but we have different ways to respond and act out the love languages. I would like to just share what he mentioned. The 5 love languages that he stated in his book. It's quality time, words of affirmation, receiving gifts, acts of service, and of course, the physical touch. You know, the little hugs that we receive, the kind words, just a simple statement that says, oh, you look lovely today, right? That just melts our heart and we just naturally feel special to be loved and recognized by our spouse, especially the quality time that we can share together with one another. And the kind words, thank you, please, you know, and the kind acts, the initiation of doing things for you, and also receiving gifts. And this, I know that it doesn't have to be the expensive gifts. It can just be a simple card or a surprise smoothie, you know, or the special or the favorite meal that you do for your spouse. So I believe that it is very important that in our marriage, the couple spend some time showing and expressing different ways, different type of languages of love to each other. Amen. Yes. So, and I know that this would be all possible when we seek the Lord for guidance and look at Him for His love example in how He shows us that He loves us unconditionally. Amen. And by then and only then we can understand how we can show our love to our spouse and how our spouse can show love to us.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Thank you for joining us in Mom to Mom program today. It was great to hear the different experiences of sharing and expressing love languages to one another, especially with our own spouse.
Before having children, I think we were
Free with cares about children.
all for each other. We didn't need to think about anyone else
We can buy anything we want,
whenever we wanted.
more freedom of choice.
No thought was needed. We could just say, okay, I want to go out tonight.
Yeah, and we stay out late.
And we could stay out late
yeah.
too.
We could just go anywhere we wanted to go.
Just the two of us, right?
It was basically a life that is kind of easy.
Doesn't change that much, actually.
Really?
Probably the first few years was really time of adjustment.
The change is 360 degrees.
Of course, lack of sleep is there.
Priority has changed dramatically.
We had to learn to manage our time differently.
The challenges of, financial.
Disagreements. I want my way, he wants his way.
And when they get sick, even one person gets sick, this is a lot of adjustment.
I won't say it's argument. I say it's like a disagreement in the sense that we have different views on how we should raise the child.
You know, they say parents make up for what they never had.
Yeah.
That's it. Our dates are no longer just both of us anymore. Yeah, we always include our son with us.
Yeah.
When the last time, right?
The last
So
time?
just this past week.
Last week?
Was that a date?
I I think one of the nice things I do for my husband is to give him space to do what he enjoys. Like playing soccer, playing football, or just playing badminton, or spend time with his friends.
I think one of the things that I'm trying to do, but I have not been successful, is trying to surprise you.
Yeah, that's
true.
true.
She's really hard to surprise. No joke. She has like, I think, 7 cents or something.
For me, is to be her personal driver.
I would surprise him with food. He would surprise me with a flower.
I do house chores.
Something that we like, but we don't have or we can't get often.
Going out together, travel and spend time at the resort or something.
I like to sing you for massages, right?
Oh, yeah.
The time to be together helps us to catch up with one another.
Revisit the intimate moment that we had before our son.
To re-energize, to find out what struggles we have, and we can discuss.
Things that we are unable to, express or talk to each other, discuss. It can only be done alone and not in front of our son.
Just to relax and unwind.
It can be casual talk, it can be sharing your day.
Helps us to continue enjoying each other's presence in that relationship.
I have more things to be thankful for. Yet, of course, challenges are there. But by having them in our life, all these challenges I can think of was a part of learning experience, and I look at it as a blessing.
What will my social life look like? How will a little baby affect our marriage? How will I handle parenting and marriage? For those moments of doubt, when we wonder what life will look like, we can take a look at this passage. Philippians chapter 4 verses 6 to 7 says, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus." Knowing that the Lord looks down and sees even the tiniest details of our life makes me feel loved. He not only has a plan for your pregnancy, He also has a plan for our life after pregnancy. Let's trust Him with that plan. Remember to visit our website at hopetv.asia. You'll find interesting materials to share with your friends and your loved ones. Also, do not forget to send us your questions and comments on our Facebook page. We would love to hear from you. We would see you next time to share experiences and discuss on issues that matter in the challenging but at the end rewarding experiences of being a mom.